I am muted because I was distracted by the private chat. Very upset. Thank you to the guys backstage and to the asshole who's responsible. Anyway, welcome to another show of Popular Review, Love Live Television. I am the executive consultant. We are beginning movies that are bad that we love with a banger because for the first time, and God knows how long, we're starting with my movie, and I picked the best movie, right? Yeah, it got a 2.8 on IMDb.com, because some people don't know good movies when they see it. But I love this movie. I laughed, I cried, I laughed some more. And then when I say, hey, maybe it is stupid, I remember some other movies like Casper, and I remember some other movies like some movie Stone Cold was on, a Vic Pick, and James made us watch something about some vampire boy girl. Like, I remember a lot of bad movies and say, you know what, I enjoyed this movie, date movie. I'm not alone. Let's bring them in. First person we're going to bring in is E Boogie. E, put that in two-man for me a second. E, what's going on with you?
Disappointment.
Yeah.
Disappointment. And
Disgust. Did you think about what movie you wanted to watch?
Versus this?
Did you see The Batman?
Oh, okay. No, this movie specifically. Disgusting, repulsive. Definitely your pick.
Well, hating aside, let's go ahead and bring our next person, which is none other than X-Rated himself, Mr. Mike Knox.
I have to share in my co-host above, the beautiful Miss E Boogie. I just disgusted by. We always know. Every time I figure, if I hate something, you must love it. If I love something, which most people like good stuff, you'll hate it, like The Batman. But
it's so nice that you're looking at a different person when you're pointing. No idea. Let's bring you on because I know you're going to clear it up. I mean, you like this movie so much you named it a different
Date Night 2010. I'm sorry, Chris.
I'm assuming you love this movie so much that you decided to bring your date to it and make it a date night. You told her, hey, I have a movie we should go see. She said, what, babe? And you were like, we should go see date movie and make it a date night. And she said, that sounds good. And y'all laughed, y'all cried, y'all laughed some more.
Chris knows me so well. And ladies and gentlemen, you don't know this, but I like to abuse women. Now, pause. Psychologically in a fun way, emotionally in a fun way, because yes, I am toxic, as you young folks say, you zennials or whatever. I like to abuse women. And I would have loved to invite her. I said, hey, do you want to watch a great movie? And we pop in. And she said, oh, I love this movie, Date Night. And I said, no, baby, this is Date Movie. From the cast of You Couldn't Give a Damn. And I would have loved to watch her joy turn into sorrow. And inside, even as I cried watching this movie, I would have felt a little bit of a joy and excitement myself because somebody else was sharing in the torture. So yes, that's what I mean when I say I enjoy torture women. And speaking of torture women, one woman I love to torture is in the comment section. See the Superior. See, I got something special lined up for you because I see you're not here watching this gem of a movie. So I thank you so much, okay?
C, unfortunately, he said, actually, no, C should be here tonight because I think the last time she and I had a conversation, because she's making me do this Indiana Jones crap, she said she was supposed to be on bad movies. So where is the Superior one? That's the conversation.
She is at a con. She is at a con right now, dressed up as a character.
C Superior, who could not be here today, even though she's supposed to be on bad movies, and won't be there to see The Flash with us next week. Go figure. All right, let's talk about it. This movie. Okay. You know what? Because I will say this. I will say this. You were sounding R. Kelly-ish. I will sound that. Okay. I'll say.
I know you're gonna bring it up.
You had to clean it up. Here we go. He's like, I like to abuse women. Oh shit! Did I say that? That's exactly what you said. But you couldn't clean it up. But that's fine. That's fine. Hey, what you do when your Sunday fun day is up to you. This movie was about so many things.
Yes, it was.
It was about meeting the parents. It was about being in therapy with your wife or soon-to-be wife. It was about a lot of shit I don't remember because I was laughing so hard the entire time. I've seen this movie at least 30 times because it is such a great movie. I cried. And I went to go see this movie. And I remember Mr. Knox and I talking about this. I think he was seeing some other movie. And he said to me, the wise man, he said to me, he was like, you go in there with low expectations, it makes the movie better. And I have to do it like this because this is how Mike talks. It makes the movie better. Well, now he's about to type something. This was also very, very good because I went in there thinking the movie was going to be complete garbage. And I was happy to find out it was not complete garbage. We're just going to start off by hearing your thoughts about why this movie is so good. E Boogie, you know I'll go ladies first. So we're going to start with you. What are your thoughts on this movie?
Why, thank you. So I do remember when this movie came out. I remember seeing it. I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I do remember that first watch. And whilst there were some questionable moments, I did laugh at a few, at least a handful. And I found on this watch that I laughed at those same moments. So those pieces and that humor still resonated with me. And then the parts that I didn't laugh at, the parts that I actually cringed at, winced, clenched at, because it just wasn't giving. And it was too much for my genteel constitution. It was the same feeling. Now, the movie starts off pretty chill, very long, fat joke. That's cool. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. This one, for the most part, hit. The parts of it that hit for me was her actual dancing, because maybe y'all know or don't, but fat people are very light on their feet. And when we dance, usually we can't very well and fast. And she was actually very athletic, and I loved that. I'm usually not a big fan of fat suits, however, so there was going to be some hesitation on my behalf on accepting this portrayal of a full-figured white woman.
Hello. You can actually take tips from this movie, Charmaine.
So we're not going to get into that. But anyway, yeah. Eddie Griffin, always funny. Jennifer Coolidge, so good. We had some really heavy hitters comedy-wise with the cameos and actors, different people that I recognize and have laughed at other better movies. And I don't know, were they able to hold this film on their back and make it a success? Or, is it like a throwaway that nobody talks about these days? Can't wait to find out. But,
Mr. Knox, on you.
What can be said about this movie that's good? There's a song, right? Absolutely nothing. Did I chuckle? Did I laugh? Absolutely. I'm weird. So that's why I chuckled. That's why I laughed. But I just didn't get this movie. And I'm not a fan of the spoofs movie anyway. I think outside of Menace to Society, Don't Be a Juice by Drinking Juice in the Hood, maybe the first Scary movie, I thought were actually good movies. I'm okay with Vampire Sucks because if you've seen any of the vampire movies, especially that movie in itself, she played Kristen Stewart so perfectly in Vampire Sucks is why I laughed, because that's how Kristen Stewart acts. But I watched this movie and I'm like, okay, why is this happening? That was one of the worst things I ever seen in TV. I thought, we just did Spaceballs, and I remember Pizza the Hut was farting, but at least that kind of made sense in the 80s. But to sit there and see, like, why is the cat? It was such a long scene. Like, it didn't last as short as I just played that clip. It went on for like at least 3 minutes of this cat just pooping. I mean, yes, the spoofs they took and they copied from, King Kong, 40-Year Virgin, Wedding Crashers, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They made fun of Hitch, okay? in that, which is to me one of the best date movies of all time. Right? Had to get it out there. Right? You Kill Bill. You mean you name it? They made fun of my best friend's wedding. It starts off with them making fun of my big fat Greek wedding. I'm a sucker for date movies and rom-coms, whatever they are. So to see this, this could be kind of funny, but it could be early 2000, it could be 1997, it could be 1967. Comedy, like music, is subjective, right? So what's funny to you may not be funny to me, but what's funny to you may not be funny to me. So watching this movie and like E Boogie put, I've just seen these comedians in this movie. Stifler's mom's in here. Eddie Griffin is in here. I just seen them do funnier things in funnier movies. And I just thought out of all the spoofs movies, this one just so far didn't hit for me. But did I like it or not? That's a question because I did chuckle. So that's what I have for now.
I'm rarely clear as to know what you're going to say because I have no idea.
I thought you were going to introduce me. Okay. I'm sorry. Everybody else that got a nice introduction. But anyway, listen, before I even go on to what I thought about date movie, let me just say, shout out to Chrissy and Vic. Chrissy, who said it was last minute and she couldn't be on the show yet. She's in the comments all show long. Shout out to you, Chrissy. I see what you're doing. Your troll game is exceptional. I love it. Vic, shout out to you. Living in a city surrounded by Canadian wildfire smoke, you'd rather be outside in polluted air than be on this show reviewing this movie. You and I both agree what this movie is, but we'll wait to review this movie at the end of the show. Now, E said something very interesting. She said, Eddie Griffin, always funny. Objection, Your Honor. This movie, as Mike Knox says, it does a lot of things. It has Hitch in there. I forgot to write that one down. It has Shallow Hal. You already mentioned My Big Fat Greek Wedding. They got The Bachelor in there. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, even they got in there. You know what they don't have in there? And it's funny that Mike didn't mention it because he talked about Baby Boy, a good script. Anywhere in this movie, I kept looking. They were picking from this movie, from that movie. None of them, not the director, the producer, the actors, none of them could pick from a good script. None of them. I will say, though, that there were two people on there who did a great job. Fred Willard, okay, and Jennifer Coolidge. When they appeared on the screen, I actually became alive again. I said, oh, this movie's finally figured out what it wants to do. And after that 5 minutes opening sequence, which they really ripped, and I got to give a shout out to Jennifer Coolidge, who really, really, really evoked, I forget the original actress's name in Meet the Parents. What's Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand.
Character. She was almost like she was like playing homage to her, just her performance in the role, the way they did that. But after that 5 minutes, and then it went back to a bunch of what I call in this movie ADHD, I was out. Now, Chris reminded me that early in the group chat, I said, oh, I wish I had seen this movie years ago. Let me explain that. Chris took that. He gave me a thumbs up in the group chat. He was so happy. Let me explain, Chris, what I meant. I meant that I wish I saw this like years ago so that I didn't have to waste time today out of my present that I'll never get back. Thank you for that, Chris. To watch this bum-ass movie, okay? Now, Chris, I'm sure, is prepping that audio that I said earlier, and I gave the explanation, so don't come at me 30 years later because I don't give a damn, okay? But let me just say, Chris, I got a special review coming for you for a movie. You thought you had subtitles before in the picks that I picked, okay? I got something special for you. And last but not least, I think Chris mentioned it. He mentioned Let the Right One In, aka as he calls it, Boy Girl Vampires. No, I was not on the Twilight series with one of my favorite co-hosts of all time. Shout out to you. You know who you are. We can write about it sometimes. But this movie goes down special. And I'm going to wait, though, ladies and gentlemen, till I tell you if this is a thumbs up or a thumbs down for me.
You know what? I always like to mention different things that I just don't understand, right? I don't understand some things, right? Let's go ahead and put this one out here. Can you highlight that comment right above the one you just highlighted, please, production? I couldn't watch this movie. Now, could you highlight the next comment? Facts. No one in this movie is funny, right? I thought you didn't see the damn movie. How you gonna sit here and tell me that no one in this movie is funny if you ain't seen the movie, right? Don't do that. I am upset and flabbergasted at these co-hosts and what they're talking about because they're not mentioning the best parts of the movie, but I am.
The end of beginning and numero unos or chances of ending. I do it again. Follow no other, I'm setting these trends, consulting.
Now, let's talk about it. Mr. and Mrs. Smith scene was great. That's what sold me on this movie. Go ahead, James, set yourself up. That's what sold me on this movie because anybody who's been in a relationship, knows, even though it was a spoof and it was supposed to be funny, knows how he feels. I love her. But sometimes that was comedy to me because all relationships are like that. The woman wants to kill the man wants to kill the woman. There's a thin line between love and hate. It was funny because it's relatable to me. It was comedy. Right? The Hitch scene. Hitch was very, very funny. I liked what they did there. It was comedy. I love the song that they did for My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I like that rendition. It was comedy to me. I loved it. It was me having a good time in the movie theater. Yes, E.
That was from My Best Friend's Wedding.
Big Fat Greek Wedding, My Best Friend's Wedding. The bottom line is it was a movie that sucked, that they made it entertaining. And it was entertaining in
pull up the tapes, somebody, please. Because that is just not true. This movie is booty. All right?
I thought the movies that of My Big Fat Greek Wedding and My Best Friend's Wedding.
The movies that it ripped from are far superior in comedic acting, in plot, timing, writing, casting. I could go on.
Entertaining.
Because the timing is not conducive to my needs because my timing says that this movie was very, very good. And you're a hater, E. You're a hater. This movie was entertaining. I laughed, man. I laughed when the woman was on the car and she was washing it with a burger. That was great to me, right?
Carl's Jr. did it first, and it was way better then.
No, because she's hot, right? She was completely hot, and that's what made it more entertaining. The Kung Fu battle or the Kill Bill thing, where they made it look stupid because Kill Bill's a stupid movie. I loved it.
Watch it.
I loved it. What am I watching? Oh, Vic's back there. Good job. And you know what? I see Vic is actually, you know what? Vic is backstage, right? This was funny. Look at this. E, laugh.
Okay, that was one really funny and disgusting moment. Of all the disgusting moments, this one was funny.
You obviously never played basketball with a hairy guy. That was comedy. Hey, look at Vic in the background, right? And this is the first time he's actually doesn't do a green screen. He does a live shot.
Whole time we thought it was a green screen.
Whole time, Vic was the Simpsons of this panel because he knew it was coming in the future. Stop hating. And what's these comments? Can you production pull up the comments because I'm not on that screen? I just want to see.
Comments say, "How are you?"
James? How are you, James?
Asking, I am doing great. I hope they let you come on the panel when they did the Little Mermaid episode because I remember when we first did the Disney classics, you were on the Little Mermaid. So I hope that they had you come back on there. Shout out to you.
You have to talk to Steve Superior and Bad Guy Jack on that one. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the final thoughts as well as thumbs up and thumbs down. We're also going to be joined by Vic, who's live with the action, so to speak. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Unpopular Review.
Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you. I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm
Prime. This is about the fate of all living things. Unicron is coming. This is not our war.
Optimus, we must trust each other to protect the home we all share.
How big can this guy be?
He eats planets. So, like, way bigger than a planet.
You've never faced anything like this.
The Ark, if it is their Eternis, then it is something that man was not meant to disturb.
It is protected by forces beyond imagination. It is desired above all treasures on Earth by those who are good,
Trust me.
and those who are evil.
I'll tell you everything. Yes, I know you will.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. A film from Steven Spielberg and George Lucas.
Hey.
What's up, Vic?
Harrison Ford is the best.
Smog, is that you?
Indiana Jones starts next Tuesday, and
Charmaine,
that's what we're doing. You know what? Let me tell you something. We had this
don't
poll.
miss that episode when we do Singing in the Rain. Okay, it's going to be great. Don't miss it.
We did this poll of what's the next franchise is going to be, in Indiana Jones won. The funny part about that is, right, everybody who voted for Indiana Jones is not on the damn cast to be on the panel for that movie.
I'm going to be on it.
I think I'm gonna be able to come. I couldn't come this past Tuesday, but I can come.
For the Turtles movie.
No, you said Indiana Jones.
Yeah, and I'm talking about last week was the Turtles movie, which was a great franchise. I might add, great franchise.
But this week, next week is Indiana.
Next Tuesday starts Indiana Jones.
The first one.
The first one, the very first.
Oh, I'm in there. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so Indiana Jones next Tuesday. Coming up Sunday is the Transformers movie review. Look out for that one. And then next Thursday, we're going to be doing none other than Baby Boy. And I put it in the wrong one, man. I did. Baby Boy, continuing our movies, bad movies that we love, but we're going to talk about this right here. Vic is not feeling that well, so he's not going to be on long. We're just going to get his thoughts, his final thoughts, and thumbs up, thumbs down, all in one. Vic, the floor is yours. Tell him how much you love this movie.
This movie was hilarious. Clearly, it's a parody of a whole bunch of movies that I think that if you saw, you'll laugh at it a little bit more. But at the same time, it was disgusting. So, like, I wonder, I'm sad that I'm sick because I got to miss everybody's comments. I guess I'll just watch it back because I'm really wondering how this aged. It's hilarious to me, but that might just be because I'm old. But I'm curious to see if it hit with the younger audience because I don't know. I mean, the one part that really dated this movie was I have a T-Mobile sidekick. I was like, wow. When they were like showing that off, like that was the hottest thing in the world. And I remember how hot the sidekick used to be. Like that just brought it back. But it's not that I like every movie; is that I see the good in things. I am a sunflower. Okay, shoot fly with hate. All right, so thumbs up.
Boo.
Excellent choice, Vic. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you feel better. We will see you coming up soon, at the very least, next Tuesday for Indiana Jones. Mr. Knox, what's going on with you? Thumbs up, thumbs down, final thoughts?
Damn, Vic. I'm thinking there's gonna be one movie Vic can give a thumbs down to. Nope, not even close. But it's comedy, right? So you can't. I mean, hell, people listen to
Troopers. You can have that,
huh?
Star Trek Troopers. You can have that.
Oh, well, see, there it is. Over
What?
this, but again,
You didn't like Star Trek Troopers?
some people, listen to, today's hip hop. Who am I to judge them, right? So this movie, I don't care. It just wasn't for me. I thought it was bad on everything. I will give out shots to Mr. Fred Willard, who played in this movie. To me, Mr. Dunphy from Family Matters. I think they were the bright spots in this movie. Him and Jennifer Coolidge, to me, they were the bright spots in this movie, and even they couldn't save this movie. Eddie Griffin, who I think is one of the funniest comedians that we've seen in our generation, couldn't save this movie. I thought it was just disgusting and nasty and appalling. And I don't mind. And it's weird because I like crude comedy, just not in a spoof. I guess maybe the dude didn't mix for me. So I give it a thumbs down. I was really mad. Like he said earlier, no idea. 75 minutes of my life I can never get back of this movie. And I'm literally watching it and I'm going, is this shit over with yet? It just kept going and going. But hey, we have jobs to do here that we don't get paid for. And I watched this movie and thumbs down for me.
Is it me? Does it come back to me?
Sure.
Hello, director? All right. So I do know who to blame for this film. Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer.
Yep.
Sounds like a fake ass name. Anyway, this movie is absolutely garbage. Just top tier shit show. Bad. Horrendous. A waste of time, energy, and tax dollars. It was awful. The directing was awful. The pacing was awful. Again, interesting casting. It had some qualities that got a laugh out of me. I did have one really, really big laugh. You know, the one, like, if you ever seen The Simpsons, Mrs. Krabappel, she always hits the one, ha! It got one of those out of me. And that was when they were at the dinner and they were singing their favorite love song. And that was just perfect. That was excellent. Everything else, pretty much everything else
Candy
was,
Shop.
yes, Candy Shop, because who doesn't love that? But yeah, absolute garbage. Such a waste of time.
Hey, Boogie, did you say our tax dollars went to this shit?
So, depending on where movies get shot, they get to write stuff off. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they hire artists from particular regions that it's being shot in. Point being, it's bad.
That makes even more dog shit.
Yeah, well, it's bad, and I'm not into it. I would never watch it again. Big shout out though to the Carl's Jr. model, the Andy, Jennifer Coolidge, and to the actress that played Jennifer Lopez. I guess she was entertaining. But thumbs down for me. 2 thumbs down. 2 toes too.
Agreed, E. Shout out to Carl's Jr., Sophie Monk in this movie. Chris, you were absolutely correct. She looked incredible. The scene when she did, what is that? Fast Times at Ridgemont High, that pseudo scene, and she comes out the water, fantastic. Somewhere I could sense Dr. Umar Johnson scowling at me because she looked good, and I finally grasped the concept of what a snow bunny must be. But shout out to Dr. Umar and shout out to Sophie Monk back in 2006 when this movie came out, because she did look good. And Chris, you're absolutely correct. So I credit what credit's due. As E said, Steve Friedberg and I forget the other guy, they brought us this movie along with some illustrious others. I had to look it up. That fake Spartan movie, the disaster movie, some other bum movies. You know what they're not? Scary movie. Please, Lord Jesus, it's me, James. Can you bring back the Wayans brothers? Please. Because after Scary Movie 1 and 2, it's all downhill, and everybody tried to get the fast buck. What they didn't have was talent. That's important. That's how you make a good script. Not everybody can make a movie. I stand by that claim. The theme of the month is bad movies we love. Let me list some bad movies. Jeepers Creepers Reborn. As always, The Legend of Chun-Li. Mike, I tried to watch Jeepers Creepers Reborn. I thought I was in somebody's backyard with their camera. I said, "What is
worst movie ever?"
It was garbage. I got to the little fair that they had with 20 people. I was out. The Legend of Chung-Li, which is always going to be a cinema classic of trash. Leprechaun in the Hood, where if you're not smoking some green, you can't watch that movie. Shout out to you, Warwick. The latest Transformers movie, no matter what year it is, trash.
Hey, yo.
This movie, we can put at the very top. Chris, shout out to you. We can put this movie at the very top. But does Chris genuinely love this movie? Yes, he does. So it meets the criteria. Hold, am I going to do the unthinkable? I did like aspects of this movie. I told you, Carl's Jr., Sophie Monk. I told you. But shout out to the late Fred Willard, all joking aside. These are improv artists, right? And Jennifer Coolidge. So it seemed like the script wasn't fully written. I don't know, or they took the material and made it better. Whereas Eddie Griffin maybe is used to writing his own material, and they weren't letting him because it was too palm and not back of the hand. Everybody understands what I'm saying. So they said, we're not too comfortable with what you do. So he couldn't really change it as he needed to and uplift it because his stuff felt kind of flat. And I know that Eddie can do better than that because we've seen a spoof movie that he did. What is that movie that he did where he was the agent and he had to go undercover as a black white man?
Undercover Brother.
Undercover Brother. And was that movie not comedy gold from start to finish? So we know that he can do that, but I don't think that the director and screenwriter were comfortable with that. Whereas with Jennifer Coolidge and Fred Willard, they were okay with letting them go, and they were improvisers, so they were used to going off stuff that random people in the crowd just threw up. But they were actually great in that scene, again, that 5-minute window when they just let them cook and do their own thing. So going back to what I said before, I'm a fair person. I will trash this movie because it is trash. It is pure and utter anus, okay? But Chris loves this movie, and it's a bad movie that he loves. He defended it and meets the criteria. The movie has to get a thumbs up. Last but not least, I want a special shout out to Vic, who is now in his backyard coughing. Shout out to all New Yorkers, my home state, who are now fighting Hexus from Fern Gully. And when the battle's over, they're all going to look like this version of Hexus.
That's so insensitive.
Please, New Yorkers, wear a mask. Vicks Vapor Rub does not cure everything. Okay, please, New Yorkers, stay inside. Do something else, okay?
Robitussin. You know Robitussin clears everything up. Get that.
There are not too many black people left in New York, Mike. There are not too many black Americans. That's ADOS. Further down south, if it hit Atlanta, Robitussin sales will go through the roof. If it hits the Carolinas, Robitussin is going to go through the roof. If we get further south, aloe vera is going to go through the roof. Everybody has aloe vera. But right now it's Vicks Vapor Rub. In New York, the sales are booming. Shout out to whoever who was invested in them. Shout out to Hexus. Shout out to Vic, who's coughing backstage. And Chris, shout out to this bum-ass movie that you picked that you still love.
Here's a fun fact. James said something in the chat about, I forgot what he said. He said it was along the lines of, I'm glad I didn't, I wish I saw this movie earlier, right? And he mentioned I thumbs upped it. Here's a fun fact. I thumbs upped it because I knew what his ass was going to say. So I didn't want to give him the time of day to say anything. Here's a fun fact for you. Here's a fun quote for you, right? From Eddie Griffin, right? Chinatown, I'll take your bitch ass to 134th Street, bust you in the head with a pipe. I laughed my ass off on that. ILMAO off of that comment. That was so funny. How could you not like that line? So how can you not say that he wasn't comedy gold and he fell flat? I don't know.
That was one line that he got in, but they didn't let him cook though.
He when the cat was humping the decrepit body, which I agree was a little cringe. But him saying I didn't teach him that, or I thought that was funny. But what I want everybody to understand, and I want everybody to realize, is that this movie had so many moments where I shed tears and cried. But not for the reasons you're saying, no idea, but for the reasons that I laughed at this one. And I cried differently than I cried at none other than this movie, where I cried also. So once again, we're going to go back to my criteria. Did I enjoy this movie better than this movie? Yeah, damn right I did. I'll watch Date Movie over the Batman. And look at my eyes when I say this. I will watch Date Movie over the Batman any day of the 365. Any minute of the 24. I will watch this movie because it was an entertaining movie that I enjoyed. With characters that I enjoyed because I never had to see their bitch asses again. Right? But I have to see the Batman again with Robert Pattinson. Whether he's glittering or whether he was a horrible actor or whether he's being abusive to Alfred, I have to see his ass again because he's going to make another sequel and my dumb ass is going to be there for that too. So ladies and gentlemen, this movie gets a thumbs up. I appreciate this movie. It's a bad movie that... We're not highlighting any more comments so people can't be here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching us. For No Idea, for Mike and Oz, for E-Boogie, I'm Exec Consulting. We will see you on Sunday. All right, because I know that was you. We will see you on Sunday for Transformers. Good night, everybody. Can't believe this. Highlight comments.
No.
Yeah. I don't understand. You got to be watching Indiana